Yella recently did an interview that's chopped up in parts right now, currently on YouTube, for Cam Capone News. Shout out to Cam Capone News. Go subscribe to their channel. He mentioned Dr. Dre's perfectionism. Others have also said this in the past. I think I heard DJ Quick do an interview where he said Dre made him say the same word like 50 times, and Quick said he was saying it the same way, but on the 51st time, Dre was like, yeah, that's the one. Snoop has said the same. He's made him repeat lines over and over again. Did you get to see that side of Dre back in his early days?
Back then, he was more into the because we all were new to the rap game. Back then, he was more into the perfection of the beats. I mean, when you listen to some of the scratches on stuff like Surgery, and especially our CBS album, I think he's bionic. That took us forever to do that. In fact, we had to sample some of that shit because he wanted to do it in a way that it couldn't be humanly possible. So yeah, he does have that, and as he's gotten more experience, he just he got his shit down pat now. So now he wants to make damn sure that everybody around him is perfect. Which I can't get mad for that.
Mm. Yeah, I've heard that story plenty of times. We have a couple things to talk about, but let's jump into some questions because we got some good stuff and we have stuff we got to catch up on from last week. Some questions from last week also. Sedborn 0303 says, I have a question for you, Lonzo. On the Michel'le biopic, did you really meet her while she worked in a clothing store and you were buying socks?
Hell no, I wasn't buying no socks. If this headphone cord was long enough, I assure you I ain't wearing socks right now.
Yeah, that's right. You don't really wear socks, actually.
I got a drawer full of socks right now. I got on some no-shows only because my feet getting cold. Because it's cold outside. Normally, I don't even wear socks. With dress shoes, I don't wear socks. I'm still doing the 80s Miami Vice shit. And back then, I damn sure was doing the Miami Vice shit. Okay, I wear a suit and tie with no socks on. Anyway, Michel'le worked at a clothing store. She worked at May Company. I think it was May Company in the Fox Hills Mall here in LA in Culver City. And no, that was not how it happened. I don't walk up to people. Hi, I'm Grandmaster Lonzo. Here's my card. My finger didn't show up tonight. I need somebody to sing a song tonight. Man, get the fuck out of here. When I saw that shit, I was like, you motherfuckers, Hollywood is full of shit, okay? I tell you something. If you really want to see yourself get clowned, let Hollywood do something about you. They don't ask you no questions. They just do what the fuck they want to do and portray you any old kind of corny ass way, okay?
That's hilarious.
And I mean, they had me out smoking cigarettes, and I'm 64 years old. I ain't never smoked a cigarette. I ain't never had one of my girls waiting on riding the bus. Because if you knew where she lived at and where the studio was, man, that was a 2-hour bus ride. I always picked my girl, any girl working with me, Mona, whatever the case, I took them home. I picked them up and took them home because I was the only one that had a car back then. Okay, I made sure if every once in a while Yella kept a car. He would do the pick off and drop off sometime. But for the most part, nah, man, that whole thing was just a bunch of bullshit. That shit made me laugh like a motherfucker, boy.
Man, how far? Okay, because we talked about this before we move on to the next question. We've talked about how they're allowed to use your likeness, based on certain guidelines, without getting sued. But how far can they go? Like, let's say they instead of the socks thing, she decided to say Lonzo likes men. Lonzo's gay.
Lawsuit.
So you can do it like it depends on if it affects you like personally. How does that work?
You can change the story. You just can't change the character of the person. You can't change the character. Yeah, the character of the person. You can't make me some big bully or slap her around look like that because I didn't do that. Okay.
Okay.
So, unlike what she said about Dre. Okay. I don't know. I didn't witness that, but that's what she said. So, but if she said Lonzo did it, Lonzo can sue. Lonzo didn't put hands on it. Okay. So if she made Lonzo out to be anything other than who he was, I mean, the part about her working in the store, that was true. I met her through somebody else, but again, because of timing and because of the time factor, they couldn't really tell the whole story. I understood that, but they kind of condensed it to try and make it work. But people forget and the writers lie.
Gotcha. OG Shags wants to know who came up with the idea of the suit you guys wore. That was all you, right?
Kind of, sort of. Here's the crazy part, man. The suits that we wore. In fact, that was funny, man, because I had to send some pictures off yesterday to a company, and they saw our suits. They said, "Man, you guys are dressed real nice." Yes, for the '80s, we were dressed like a son of a bitch. He said, "Y'all look better than the Furious Five." That was our competition. So, as a young man going to Centennial and Gardena, in order for us to go to the homecoming dance or any school event, we had to go get a pair of tailor-made pants. That was what we had to do. My boy Mike the Tailor was downtown on 7th and Main, 7th in Los Angeles, and he would stitch up you a pair of pants for $20. So we got ready to make the Wrecking Crew stuff. Mike was still down there, and I took the fellas down there to Mike's thing. I suggested Dre might want to get because he already had a doctor's smock. I suggested he may want to get one made out of the sequence, and he did. Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody had a choice on what they wanted. Dre Yella always liked Prince. That's why his shit was always purple. Okay, clientele was a little bit more flexible. Okay, mine I wore a ducktail tuxedo to the prom. I like ducktails, so I made mine to a ducktail. That's what it was. Okay, and I knew it had to be black because shit. At that time, shit, I wasn't wearing a white one because white got too dirty. And on the second album cover, we just went down to Melrose and bought all that shit. So everybody, I paid for it. Everybody wore what they wanted to wear. I don't give a damn what nobody tell you. They kiss my black ass. I don't care what nobody say. They picked out their own shit. I just paid for it. Wasn't nobody twisting nobody's arm, put the lipstick on, put this eyeliner on. No. It was,
all up in the mirror.
Okay, okay. Don't believe that bullshit. Okay.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Easy Steve says, "Who owns the CIA music and does it have any value?" And also, maybe you can remind everybody who CIA was and kind of how they all came together and went through you.
CIA is Stereo Crew. Ice Cube. It was Jinx, KD, Kid Disaster, and Ice Cube. And they were signed to CBS under the Stereo Crew. We all got dropped. They came back to Crew Cut. It became CIA. When Ice Cube went solo, Brian Turner made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and he owns the music. But it's all over YouTube. I didn't do it, but it's all over YouTube anyway. I can't do nothing with it. I wouldn't do nothing with it. I don't want the headache. Does it have any value? Depending on who you are. Some people may think, some people, and this is the part that people actually listen to the CIA music. Okay, this is the Cube that I knew. I didn't know the Gangsta Cube. I knew the knockoff Beastie Boy because they all sounded like Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys was a hot act at that time, and they sound like Beastie Boys. If you listen to House Calls, I thought that was so ironic today. Last week when Dre gave LL Cool J his inducted him to the Hall of Fame, because when Dre was with Wrecking Crew, I want all y'all to go to YouTube and look up House Calls and listen to House Calls and tell me if Dre don't sound like LL Cool J. In fact, at one point in time, we had Shakespeare had named Dre LL Cool Dre because he sounds so much like Shakespeare, like LL Cool J on House Calls.
Damn.
True story. True shit. LL was the man. LL had everybody. And then Dre, he objected that growl and everything. He all that shit. Okay. And we had nicknamed him LL Cool Dre just for the hell of it. Just fucking around. So yeah. That's real talk.